Welcome. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most incredible, most visually stunning stories in the entire Bible, Jacob's dream of a ladder to heaven, right from Genesis chapter 28. To really get what's going on, we're going to walk through the whole chapter, step by step, and see what this amazing journey can teach us about our own lives.
So let's set the scene. We start with a young man, basically a fugitive, totally alone as the sun goes down in this huge, empty wilderness. He's on the run, and he has no idea what his future holds. This is Jacob, and after a life filled with family drama and some shady decisions, his story is about to change forever. We're going to follow Jacob's journey right from the beginning, from a super tense family goodbye all the way to a life-changing encounter with God. You'll see how every single step on this path builds up to a moment that doesn't just define his life, but the history of an entire people. Now, our story doesn't actually start out in the wilderness. It starts in a home, and let me tell you, the tension is thick. I mean, just imagine the heavy air inside Isaac's tent. You can probably smell the goat stew and old leather, but underneath all that, you can just feel this family being pulled apart by secrets and jealousy. So Isaac, who's old and blind now, officially gives Jacob the family blessing. You know, the one that was supposed to go to the firstborn son. But this isn't just a good luck son, it comes with a mission. He sends Jacob on a huge journey to find a wife from his own family line, a trip that's going to shape the future of their people. What's so interesting here is you see two brothers literally heading in opposite directions. And I don't just mean on a map, but in their hearts. Jacob, he chooses to obey his parents, even though it means a long, hard journey. But Esau, he sees how unhappy his parents are, and it's like he decides to rebel even harder, marrying someone just to spite them. It's a really powerful picture of how our choices, even the small ones, show who we really are and set us on totally different paths in life.
And just like that, Jacob is on his own. He steps out from everything he's ever known, leaving his family, his home. He's walking away from his whole past and straight into this vast, uncertain world.
I want you to picture this scene in 4K. The sun is just bleeding across the horizon, painting the sky with these fiery oranges and deep purples. It's casting these long, spooky shadows across the rocks. The only sounds you can hear are the crunch, crunch, crunch of Jacob's sandals on the gravel and that evening wind as it starts to whisper through the dry bushes. He is completely, utterly alone.
You know, in this moment, Jacob isn't some great, famous patriarch. He's just a young guy who is vulnerable and probably filled with a ton of fear and regret. He's just like any of us would be when we have to step out and do something new and kind of scary, leaving everything we know behind. So he finds what the Bible just calls a certain place. It's not a city, it's not a landmark, it's just a random spot in the middle of nowhere. But this ordinary place is where something absolutely extraordinary is about to happen. Which just goes to show you, right? The most incredible moments can pop up where you least expect them. So there he is, under this deep black velvet sky, just poked with millions of stars, with nothing but a cold, hard rock for a pillow. Jacob drifts off to sleep, with no idea that what's about to happen in his dreams will change the course of history. And in this dream, Jacob sees this incredible sight, a bridge between heaven and earth. And it's not some quiet, empty staircase. No, it's more like a bustling highway, a superhighway, with angels moving up and down between our world and God's. This vision is showing him that maybe, just maybe, the distance between us and God isn't as far as we think. And then, as if that wasn't enough, at the very top of this amazing staircase, a figure appears. The dream gets even more intense, more real. God himself is standing there, ready to speak directly to this fugitive sleeping on the ground below. Now listen closely to who's talking. This isn't some random spirit or a new God. This is the God of his family, the very same God who made these huge promises to his grandpa Abraham and his dad Isaac. This is God confirming to Jacob, hey, that epic story you were born into, it's still going, and you have a major part to play. So God gives Jacob this unbreakable 4-part guarantee. It covers everything: his future, his family, his impact on the entire world, and maybe most importantly for a guy on the run, his personal safety. God is basically saying, you are not alone. I've got your back. And then the vision fades. The dream ends, and Jacob's eyes snap open to that cool, gray light just before sunrise. The world is quiet again, but for Jacob, everything has changed. What do you even do after a moment like that? He is just filled with this incredible mix of fear and wonder. That ordinary, totally random spot he picked to sleep, it's actually extraordinary. It's holy. And it hits him. God's presence isn't just in a special tent or on an altar somewhere. It can be anywhere, even in the middle of nowhere. So, to mark this incredible moment, Jacob gives the place a new name. It's no longer just a certain place. From now on, it's Bethel, which literally means house of God. It's now a permanent landmark on his spiritual map. And what's so cool is that Jacob doesn't just wake up and think, whoa, that was wild. He responds. He acts. He takes that stone pillow, the symbol of his hard, lonely night, and he turns it into an altar. He answers God's absolute promise with a promise of his own. It's the very beginning of a real two-way relationship. So what can this ancient story about a rock, a dream, and a promise teach us about becoming better people today? This whole story is really an invitation to look at our own character. In Jewish thought, our character traits are called midot. They're like our internal dimensions. So let's see how Jacob's journey can challenge us to improve our own. And this right here is the big takeaway for all of us. Holiness, that feeling of being connected to something bigger, it's not just for big, fancy temples or cathedrals. It can be found anywhere, at any time, if we're just open to it, if we're paying attention. So, here is your challenge for the week. It's all about finding the sacred in the simple. It's a way to practice being more aware, to start realizing that awe and wonder are all around us, just patiently waiting for us to notice. It's about learning to see the possibility for holiness in our everyday lives. Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.